So what is trade life? When you hear the word trade, you're thinking of plumber, welder, electrician, but no one else is talking about the rest. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm starting to do this is there's a whole world of jobs and skills and the things that people break their back doing every single day that nobody else is talking about. So we're here to talk about it. We're here to bring more of an explanation in as to what they are, the options, what's out there for kids who are graduating high school who may not have a clear path yet of what it is that they want to do. So, one of the problems is most of this work takes place behind the scenes completely. It's very similar to, say, like a play or a musical, and you have your stage performers, and then you have the backstage crew. The backstage crew are they're the ones that are there early, staying late, getting everything done to make sure everything goes smooth. And that's a lot of people we're talking to. We're also trying to close the gap on what is a trade because trade is a skilled worker and it doesn't have to be in the traditional sense. Any job that requires training, personal knowledge how to do that you don't normally see every day. That's what we're going to call a trade. You could have your standard trades, then you have your gray trades, and you have your silent trades. And what's so cool about all of these is how many things there actually are, where everybody has a place. Everybody has their area where they're going to shine. Their areas where they can really stand out, be themselves, and make a difference all at the same time. Really, we're only seeing a real tiny slice of what's out there. High schools, middle schools, like the push for college is still so high where it ignores the hands-on careers. Millions of job openings and nobody's really showing the path of how to get there. Everybody hears these numbers all the time, 15 million trade job openings, 15 million skilled job openings. Everyone's like, yeah, we know that. How do we get there? What do we need to do to prepare ourselves to be ready for this? So, we're going to kind of go through some of these trades a little bit to make better sense of what we're talking about, what we mean here. So, you have your common, your publicly known trades, which will be using the musical analogy again, your performers, the ones that everybody sees that you relate a skilled job to. So your standards would be your electricians, plumbers, HVAC, carpenters, welders, automotive techs, heavy equipment operators, and maybe concrete crews. Those are the main ones that are seen and talked about all the time. And they are all still wildly important. But again, we're just scratching the surface of what this all actually is. And on these jobs, the schools will support these or promote them, where you can hear about them in high school. But then there's a category of jobs that people don't really talk about, from your millwrights to your industrial maintenance, tool and die makers, conveyor techs, rigging specialists, plant mechanics, field service techs, industrial electricians. These are all very high skilled jobs that are also high paying jobs, and they're more than just jobs, they're career paths. A lot of them are very problem solving based, where it's really up to the individual and the knowledge and skills that you can bring to the table dictate your performance and how you're going to do. A lot of these jobs, you have the opportunity to travel for them, working contracting crews, doing this type of work, or permanent placement. I mean, being a industrial electrician at a facility, solid job to have, and it's not being talked about. But then there's a third category of trade jobs that are coming up that right now I think are extremely important that I think there's a lot of miscommunication, misinterpreting on what it actually is. And I'm going to call these the tech trades. This is bringing the future technology with old past mechanical, and they're really coming together because these systems are being integrated. So take a CNC programmer for, like a CNC mill, CNC lathes, like machinery. But CNC just stands for computer numerical control. It's a very universal term that is just putting a computer on physical mechanical parts to make them move and do various tasks. You have robotics techs. You're combining the mechanical with the technology side, where this is kind of the best of both worlds, where you can combine the desk job with the industrial job. More examples are automation technicians, industrial controls programmers, drone operators, EV technicians. Modern cars, they're requiring a lot more schooling and technology based learning more than just how to bust your knuckle on a ratchet. 3D printing technicians, 3D printing, that industry is growing day by day. And they need guys who know how to work on these, how to operate them. We're not just blue collar and white collar anymore. They're being combined. The difference in the difference with this is minuscule anymore. They're also all extremely in high demand. I've seen several postings for windmill technicians, guys who climb up in those big windmills and repair them, install them. They're looking for guys like crazy. That you also get to do a lot of traveling, get to see the country, gain a lot of experience. But one of the problems we're really facing is nobody is explaining the map on how to get there. How do you get these jobs? How do you prepare yourself for these jobs? So we'll go through them one by one. We'll do different episodes talking about them. Hopefully, we'll get to go on site to these jobs where these guys can show you what they're actually doing, where they can show you their skills, show you what they've learned along the way, what they wish they would have known before they started, and what they've learned after. That's where a lot of this value of what Trade Life is trying to bring the awareness, but then also the real world skills, the real world stories, the real world people that make all of this possible. We want to talk to these guys because right now they're helping shape our future. Trade Life is not just here to be another podcast. We're not just here to create a bunch of nonsense content. We're trying to start a movement here of bringing up the next generation of workers, the next generation of tradesmen, whether it's conventional, silent, gray trades. We're here to promote jobs. We're here to promote future paths for our future generations. It's also connecting generations because in these you have a lot of the older generation that is retiring, guys who are just getting out of it, switching career paths, and the knowledge and skills that they have from their years of hard work, it can't just leave with them. We need to bring fresh people into this that knowledge can be passed down to so we can continue building. We're here to bridge the gap between generations, to get the younger generation back into wanting to do this work because it really is so fulfilling. So this really is for the 18-year-olds who are graduating high school, 17-year-olds, guys who are stuck in a job that they don't want to do anymore, but don't know which way to turn. There's a place for you here for all of us. We're all welcome. We're all in one big community that is very open to new people coming into it. We want to share this knowledge. We want to pass this down. So with Trade Life, we want to do more events. We want to do school outreach programs, shop visits, help promote more mentorships to train these younger guys, to train the newer guys that are coming into this. I want this to be, you hear this Trade Life podcast, and I want it to spark something inside of you to help start changing your life, to bring fulfillment to you, to bring more purpose. For the older tradesmen, reach out. The new guys in the shops, talk to them, bring them in, help mentor them to bring them up. If they're there showing up every day, they're making the first move. Help bring them in, train them, mentor them, be the guidance that they really need. The trades built this country. Now it's time to help rebuild the trades. We need to keep this going. The first 5 years in the trades will change you completely. And people don't explain what that's actually like. Walking into a shop or a job site for the first time, it's it's like you're walking into a room full of superheroes and you're there with no gear yet. You don't know very much and you're feeling very overwhelmed. But that's where it all starts. That's where it all started with all of us. We all had to start from somewhere, and that somewhere was always the beginning. When you start in the trades, one of your first moves is finding your mentor, finding the guy at the shop that is the main guy, the go-to guy. Usually when you come in and you're showing the effort, the care and the interest, they bring you in and they they really take a lot of care and interest to bring you up. They'll teach you faster and they spend the extra time with you that you need, especially just starting out. And the more that you care, the more time that they'll invest into you to help bring you up. Let them train you as fast as you are willing to grow. Because this is a very two-way street here. You can't just expect them to do everything for you. You got to meet them in the middle, if not a little bit past that. But you really earn it by showing up, being present every single day. The feeling of belonging that you'll come to see and realize and feel every single day. And then as time progresses, you you start to understand the tools, you start to understand the work more. You understand the language that they speak. You're not running off looking for the fallopian tubes anymore. You're not looking for the shop basement. You're not looking for the aluminum magnet or the metric crescent wrench anymore. You've gotten past this stage. Being the new guy in the shop, they'll train you how to do your job where one day you're wiring up this panel, but the next day you might be painting the bollards out in the parking lot fresh yellow. Not because they don't want to teach you or train you. You can't have the mindset of this isn't my job. When there's work that needs to be done, somebody has to do it. And it's it's really similar to, if you remember the movie Karate Kid, when he has them washing the cars, the wax on, wax off, and he's just sitting there getting all pissed off about it because what does this have to do with fighting? The same way you might be thinking, what does painting the bollards out in the parking lot have to do with being an electrician? It's helping change your mindset and helping build you up still in ways that you might not be able to see yet, but when your identity starts to grow more, start taking more pride in what you're doing. This is where that superhero metaphor I used earlier, where you're walking into the shop and it's just full of superheroes and you're the guy standing there that doesn't have your gear yet. You don't get to start with your cape. You build it piece by piece. Eventually you'll earn your boot, then eventually you'll earn your glove, then you get your other boot, your other glove. You get a shirt with your name on it. You get the pants, you get the mask, and then eventually one day you earn that cape. You earn that superhero title because that's when people trust you. You start to trust yourself. You can handle things. You become the guy that people go to when they need help. You become the guy that is called on when things aren't going good. Because the trades is still such a broad word. The trades is, it can be almost any job. Be a nurse, be be a farmer. Anything that takes skill, time, training, and dedication to get good at your craft, that's a trade. If you're a professional hunter, that's a trade. You didn't learn how to do this overnight. It's the years of dedication that you put learning how to do this. That's what got you here. But it's all about what you do with it. That's where this difference is made. You're not going to master it in year 1, year 2, or maybe even year 3. But by year 5, you're going to be different. The beginning years, like I said, you're going to do a lot of the grunt work, the cleaning, working in the hot, working in the cold. It feels random at first, but it's all there for a reason. It's all part of your training. It's the rite of passage. Everyone did it before you, and the guys after you are going to do the same thing. Then when you get your title, where you're not the new guy anymore, you become the steady one, the problem solver. It builds a fire inside of you, and it really becomes a part of who skill equals security. And early on, more things to focus on and to pay attention to notice. Asking questions is good. Listening and paying attention to what's happening around you, I would say, is almost more important. When you're asking too many questions and not listening as much, you're trying to figure out the problem to step 7 when you're on step 2. Steps 3, 4, 5, and 6 most likely are going to explain the question you're going to have at step 7. That's where you need to listen to your mentor, take things one step at a time, and that's how you grow faster. If you're constantly skipping ahead, just same thing as reading a book. You don't start at chapter 10. You miss a lot of information leading up to that. You got to let the process unfold, especially when you're learning your new skill. After work, you go home, spend 15, 20 minutes on YouTube, reading, watching things on your craft, and learning from as many people as possible. This accelerates your growth so fast. And everyone that you work with is going to notice that you're putting the extra time, you're putting in the extra effort to learn this, that it's not normal, that you are being exceptional in your training, that you're taking this seriously, that you want more than anything to learn this. And then more guys at the shop will try to mentor you and they'll keep pouring into you to teach you these things because they don't want to be talking to a brick wall. They don't want to to show their tricks to people that don't care. Being coachable, open minded, reliable. You're building your experience and your reputation. You want to be the guy that takes the constructive criticism well, that understands different perspectives. I come from a machining background. I can tell you there's 1,002 ways to put a hole into something, and it doesn't mean that any of those ways are wrong, but there's usually a right way for the application or a better way for the application. And the guys in the shop that have the experience, they've done exactly what you're doing. It's usually a good time to listen to them and take their advice into consideration. You keep doing this, and you're going to be doing things that you never thought you could do. It humbles you, it shapes you, it makes you stick out. After a while, you're not going to recognize yourself because you're going to be so much stronger, more capable, and more confident in everything that you do. You're going to be the guy standing in that shop when a brand new guy walks in the door and he looks at you like a superhero because you put your time in. You're dedicated to what you're doing. People notice this. So remember, put the time in, earn the gear, and the cape, it's going to come. You earn it piece by piece. Skills build the confidence, and confidence builds the identity. Thank you. Follow us on Facebook at Trade Life Podcast. Please like and subscribe this video. Check us out on Instagram at Trade Life Podcast. We do a lot of fun reels, a lot of motivation, and what real world is like, what it's really like out there on the job sites. So stick around, there's plenty more to come. And remember, work starts now.